news when you want it with Bloomberg News Now. I'm Dan Schwartzman. Wall Street traders bracing for a load of corporate earnings and key economic data being released this week kept markets quiet but mixed to start the week. The Dow gained 114 points or 0.3%. The S&P saw a slight gain of 3.5 points or close to 0.1%, while the Nasdaq fell by 17 points or 0.1%. Western Europe continues dealing with its worst blackout in over a decade, which left all of Portugal and most of Spain in the dark. Spanish Prime Minister Pedro Sanchez offered few answers and no concrete time frame for when the country's power grid would be fully operational. Bloomberg's Tom Orlick says this is just another example of Europe's infrastructure problems.
I think it's a further troubling sign of crumbling infrastructure in Europe, core infrastructure, the capacity to provide power to your people, apparently not especially robust.
That's Bloomberg's Tom Orlick. Spain saw the blackout disrupt airports, public transportation, as well as phone services. The country's power transmission line operator Red Eléctrica says that electricity supply has restarted in parts of the Madrid region as well as other areas. Earlier power was restarted in the Catalonia region, which includes Barcelona. Red Eléctrica is blaming sharp swings in the power network for the breakdown. This week marks 100 days in office for President Trump. Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt says the president will sign 2 more executive orders later today, including one addressing sanctuary cities.
It will direct the Attorney General and Secretary of Homeland Security to publish a list of state and local jurisdictions that obstruct the enforcement of federal immigration laws.
Meanwhile, at a news briefing, borders Tom Homan claimed border crossings are down 96% since Trump took office, but illegal immigration is still a federal emergency.
It's an emergency till we shut it down. It's an emergency so the cartels are wiped off the face of this earth.
The president is expected to sign the executive orders sometime around 5 o'clock today. Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent, speaking on CNBC, says it's up to China to reduce tensions over the tariff fight between the Chinese and the U.S.
We'll see where this goes. But as I've repeatedly said, that I believe that it's up to China to de-escalate because they sell 5 times more to us than we sell to them. And so these 125, 145% tariffs are unsustainable.
Bessent tells CNBC the U.S. has put China to the side for now as it seeks trade deals with between 15 to 17 other countries. He said he wouldn't be surprised if a trade deal with India is the first to be announced. Democratic Virginia Representative Jerry Connolly announcing today that he will be stepping down from the House Oversight Committee due to a resurgence of his esophageal cancer. The 75-year-old says this will be his last term in Congress after originally being elected back in 2008. Russian President Vladimir Putin has called a unilateral ceasefire in the Ukraine war beginning midnight on May 8th till midnight May 11th. The ceasefire would be during Russia's World War II Victory Day commemorations on May 9th, which commemorates the 80th anniversary of the defeat of Nazi Germany. Ukraine, though, has reacted skeptically and says that Putin needs to accept a longer truce that the U.S. has proposed. Canada holding elections today after a 37-day campaign, with current Prime Minister Mark Carney's Liberal Party thought to be slightly ahead of the Conservative Party. The Liberals have ruled the country for the past 10 years. One of the biggest issues facing Canadian voters is their concern over President Trump and his rhetoric regarding Canada becoming the 51st state, as well as implementing tariffs on the country. Cardinals have set May 7th as the date to begin conclave to elect a new pope for the 1.4 billion Catholics worldwide. Only Cardinals under the age of 80 are allowed to vote in a papal election. That would leave 135 Cardinals eligible to vote. One Cardinal, though, has already announced he will not be attending due to health reasons. Secret balloting will be held in the Sistine Chapel at the Vatican, with the last 2 conclaves to elect a pope back in 2005 and 2013, each lasting 2 days. A 2/3 majority is needed to elect a new pontiff. IBM stock finishing the day up over 1.5% after the tech giant announced plans to invest $150 billion in the U.S. over the next 5 years to boost its tech innovation and manufacturing, with $30 billion earmarked for research and development. IBM is one of the nation's largest tech employers and also operates the largest fleet of quantum computer systems in the world. That's news when you want it with Bloomberg News Now. I'm Dan Schwartzman, and this is Bloomberg.